This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So we are in day 7 session. So in yesterday's session, we spoke about constructors, and we have seen some examples of why we are using the constructors. What are the rules we have to follow to define the constructors? These things I told you. So now, in day 7 session, let me start with my concept. Let me start my concept. Okay, start with the packages concept. Okay, what do you mean by package? Usually, if you are a C programmer, we usually call it as what? Library. But in Java, we can call it as what? Package. Everything is like a package. Okay. So first we need to understand the definition of what do you mean by package. So package is a collection of classes, interfaces, and sub packages. As we already aware of what do we mean by class, it is a collection of variables and methods. Of course, along with the methods, we may define some blocks, we may define constructors. It's all the part of what, the collections only, I mean class only. So we are these classes, of course, interface is also one type of class only. It is a collection of some kind of methods only and constants. So those interfaces and then classes, we are going to keep inside the package and along with some sub packages. So ultimately, package is a collection of classes, interfaces, and sub packages. If I'm asking what is the place for the variable, you should think about either class or interface. If I'm asking what is the place of the class, you should think about which package it is available. In that way, we please try to think. So meaning that, for example, if I'm asking one predefined class, okay, integer is there. So in which package it is available, like that people are asking. So for example, all the predefined classes and interfaces are available in different okay, in different packages, in various packages, in different packages. For example, integer class is available inside the java.lang package. Like this, since I already told you, while they were released this Java into the software, into the market, they have released this software into 3 editions. So one is JSE, JEE, and then JME. So accordingly, JSE has some predefined or built-in packages. I will show you. You just observe here. Let me open the Google. So if you go to the official official documentation, integer class API in Java. If I open this docs.oracle.com, click on these frames. So you see java.app. So all these things. Yeah, up to here, sir. Let me copy this. List, and then so whatever I am copying here, all these are the Java standard edition predefined packages, core Java packages. Simply, okay, whether you observed or not, all the core Java packages, okay, usually starts with what? Java dot, like this. So you see java.applet, java.awt. See java.awt.color. Java.awt is the package. After awt.color, data transfer, DND event, all these are the sub packages. In the same manner, java.beans, and this is the sub package. Java.io, okay, java.lang, and these are the sub packages. Java.math, net, okay, NIO, RMI, security, okay, util, and all these are the different, okay, java.text, okay, it got introduced, java.sql. All these are the different core Java packages. So whether you may ask one question, so when should we use these packages? For example, I am working with the database related programs. So you need to get a chance to use the predefined classes and interfaces which are available inside the java.sql. Okay, I am working on the security related programs. You need some predefined classes, some predefined interfaces which are available inside the java.security. Okay, for example, you are working on some file related operations. We need some predefined resources which are available inside the java.io. So based on our requirement, we may require some predefined classes or some predefined interfaces which are available in the different packages. As part of the requirement, we have to import those packages. You have to import those classes or interfaces from the predefined packages, and accordingly we can create the instances of those things, and we are able to invoke the predefined methods using that particular instance. Yes, if you're observing all these packages, java.lang is the default imported package. Default imported package, meaning that whatever the classes or interfaces or the resources which are available inside the java.lang, just like that we can use it. We no need to import the package specifically or explicitly. We no need to import, because they have designed like this. They So this is the default imported package. Why they are making this java.lang as the default imported package? Because of inside this package we do have some predefined classes and interfaces. Some fundamental classes and fundamental interfaces are there which are used to perform some fundamental operations. For example, I wanted to display something. I am going to like what use system.out.println, where system is the predefined class. For example, I wanted to convert, okay, I wanted to convert string to integer. Okay, I wanted to convert integer to string. All these are the fundamental operations which are available. Predefined classes are available. Fundamental operations to perform the fundamental operations. Some we do have a fundamental classes, and then interfaces which are available inside the java.lang package. That is the reason they made this package as the default imported package. So whether you are observing or not, so far in our programs, just like that I'm using integer. You're creating the object of string and then integer, something like that. You're not importing. But for example, I wanted to create the array list object. I wanted to create the array list object. Here array list is one of the predefined class. This is available in some package, that is java.util. If you want to use this array list object or create the array list object, first you have to import this. If you are not importing, you can't create the object, because this is not available inside the java.lang package. This is available in some other package. So meaning is, if I want, or if I need any other classes or any other predefined interfaces which are available in some other package except java.lang package, make sure you have to import, otherwise you can't use it. That is the conclusion regarding this important point. Yes, you may ask one question, why these many packages? So this is the time to understand about what is the purpose of the packages. Okay, you may ask one question, sir, why they made, or why they are keeping predefined classes and interfaces inside the classes, inside the packages? Are we getting any kind of benefit for that, just to keep these classes or interfaces inside the package? Are we getting any benefit, something like that? Yes, we do have a really benefit is there. The first benefit is, you just observe here. Here you see here. So here java.lang.integer, meaning is integer is the class which is available inside the java.lang package, which is available inside the java.lang package. Okay, so like that, every predefined class, every predefined interface available always inside the predefined package only. We can't observe any class or any interface without package. Okay, so now this is the time to understand why they are keeping the classes or interfaces inside the package. What is the purpose? What is the benefit we are getting? First benefit is what? Reusability. First benefit is what? Reusability. Okay, so how we are able to achieve the reusability? For example, I have some class is there. I'm just keeping in one package like P1. Okay, P1, inside the P1 package, I'm just keeping one something like test class. So there is inside the test class, Of course, we do have some logic is there. Class contains obviously methods. Methods has logic. So now this is something like test one. Assume. So now test one is available inside which package? Tell me right now. P1 package. Whatever the logic which you defined inside the test one, I wanted to like what access from the test2 class. From the test2 class. What we have to do? Whatever the logic you are defining inside the test one, entire logic you have to redefine. Okay. So but if you are defining the code once again, which was already available inside the test one, that is not at all a good standard, good programming practice, because you are increasing the redundancy of the code. If you are if you are not reusing the code, you are redefining the code. Array, that code already was there inside the test one. Then why you are redefining? Because of there is no concept of reusability, right? If this test one, if they really kept this test one class inside the package p1, you just try to like what import that, import p1 dot test one. That's it. Automatically that entire test one is available inside the test2 class. So happily you can create the object of test one and then access that logic instead of redefining the code. So ultimately my question is, by keeping the classes or interfaces inside the package, we are achieving the concept of reusability. Instead of redefining the code again and again wherever you want to use, you just try to import it and then reuse it. Obviously, because of this, what we are able to achieving? Reusability achieving. Because of reusability, are we able to reducing the redundancy of the code or not? If you are able to reduce the redundancy of the code, memory consuming also will be reduced or not? If memory consuming will be reduced, the performance of the application obviously will be improved. So these are all the points you have to keep it in your mind. That is the reason. That is the reason they are keeping always. Come on, please. They are keeping always. Okay, the classes, either classes or interfaces inside the packages. This is the important benefit of what keeping the classes or interfaces inside the package. That is the first advantage. And one more advantage is avoid naming conflicts. For example, I am defining one test one class. I am just keeping inside the, okay, for example, test one is the class. I wanted to like what define one more class with the same name. If you may get this kind of requirement, for example, right now, so here under src we don't have any default, I mean we don't have any packages so far. I'm just defining. So already test one was there, already student was there. Now under src or else under default package, one second, under default package, right click here, new, take the class, and if I'm giving student, immediately we are getting the error. What it is saying? Type already exists, meaning that with this name already the class was there. How can you define one more class with the same name? We can't define two classes with the same name, but we can define two classes with the same name by differentiating or by keeping these classes in different packages. So with respect to different packages, with respect to packages, we are able to, with respect to packages, we are able to, okay, differentiate. We are able to define the multiple classes with the same name. For example, predefined class is there. I will show you. So here date class is there, date class API in Java, date class API in Java. So you just observe docs.oracle.com. Here, what is this class? java.util.date. So we have one more date class is there, which was available inside the java.sql date also is there. Let me click on this, go to the SQL package. Okay, click on this. When you click on this package, immediately in the below interfaces, classes, enums, exception, all these are going to be displayed. Inside this, we have one more date is there. Previously, just now I showed you one more date class, and this date class is available inside the java.sql. So in this way, we are able to, okay, define multiple classes with the same name by differentiating the packages itself. So if anybody is asking what is the purpose of going for or keeping your classes or interfaces inside the packages, you should be in a position to give these two answers. What is the first answer? Tell me. we are able to achieve the concept of reusability by keeping either classes or interfaces inside the packages. And another second advantage is what? We are able to avoid the naming conflicts. So meaning that if you get a chance or if you get a requirement, something like if you want to define multiple classes with the same name, that is also possible by differentiating different packages. You can create 2 or 3 or 4 or packages, just define the same class in all the packages. So if you, for example, P1 and then test1 is there, okay, and then P2 and then test2 is there, test1 again is there. For example, if somebody wants to like what access the test1 class of P2, they are going to like what access like this P2 dot test1. If somebody wants to access the test1 class of P1, they are calling like a P1 dot test1. This is a fully qualified name. Like how exactly people are calling with our surnames in the same manner. So these package names are helping. This so in my college or in my class, we do have, for example, if 2 Ramas are there, obviously they are going to differentiate with their surnames, right? So okay, in the same manner here also with the package names, we are able to like what segregate, we are able to access those things also. So obviously we can call it is what package name dot class name or package name dot interface. This is something like fully qualified name of either class or interface, something like this. I hope you got the clarity. What do you mean by packages? Why? What are the predefined packages we have? Okay, what are the user? So this is all about what something like this. Now, like how exactly they made? Are they kept? Okay, these predefined packages. Sorry, these predefined classes and interfaces are keeping inside their predefined packages. In the same manner, we also can keep our own classes, our own user-defined classes and interfaces inside our own packages also. So question is how to define the package? Very simple, sir. How to define the package? Very simple. What is the syntax to define the package? So this is the syntax: package followed by package name. That's it. Okay, package followed by package name, and followed by what we have? We are going to define the classes. We are going to define the other interface. It's up to your wish. Okay, so but note point is what? Package statement always must be the package statement always must be the first executable statement in Java. Okay, if you are trying to define this package statement after you define the class or interface, immediately you will get the compile time error. Since you are keeping these things inside the package, obviously it must be the first executable statement. You are not allowed to keep this statement after some lines of code. If you are trying to do something like that, you will get the compile time error. That is the reason I am giving you this note point. So package statement always must be the first executable statement. Okay, so we'll see one basic example so that you will get the clarity, right? Let me close this. Okay, now you may ask one question, sir, how can we define the packages? So under SRC, we usually define the Java stuff. Whatever the classes you defined so far, all these classes are belongs to which package? Tell me. Default package. Because of that meaning is you did not provide any package name. So now from now onwards, I wanted to give the package name, and I wanted to keep my classes and interfaces inside this package only. So where should you define the packages? Under SRC, right click, new, and then give the package name. Here package is there, na? Come on, please, all of you. Okay, here, come on, right click on the SRC, new, and then here package is there. Here you have to give the package name. What is the package name you have to give? Any name you can give. Okay, but there is a naming convention. Okay, naming convention for package. Naming convention for package. Like how exactly the naming conventions we have for classes and interfaces, for methods, for variables. In the same manner, we have a naming convention for package is also there. So usually package name something like a reverse of your company URL or company domain. Okay, reverse of your company website or domain name or URL. Okay, and then followed by project name, followed by okay module name. Okay, something like this. In this way, for example, we are all working with the Infosys batch. Okay, for example, usually www.infosys.com is there. Okay, infosys.com. Assume just example purpose I am telling you. Okay, so reverse is what? com.infosys. Okay, that is why. So I am giving com.infi. Project name. What is the project name? For example, if you are working on banking project, okay. For example, which module you are working? So for example, I am working on withdrawal module. So something like this. In this way, we have to provide the package names usually while we are working in the real time environment. Okay, on top of the real world projects, we have to provide the package name something like this. Just like that, we should not give, but this is there is a naming convention. You have to follow that naming convention just to maintain the Java standards. Something like this. So for now, I'm just giving you okay something like this. P1 is the package name I'm just giving. But remember, please try to keep in your mind while we are defining the packages in our real world projects. You have to follow these naming convention. Okay. Otherwise, here also you can give it, not a problem. Okay, but instead of getting more confusion, I'm just giving you the small package. Okay, I mean simple package name I'm just giving here itself. Okay, just now I have created the package. One more time I'm telling you how to define the package. Under SRC, right click here, new, take the package, give the package name, take the package and then give the package name here. And right click here, under this package you have to right click. Don't right click on under SRC or under default package, because of I wanted to keep my class or interface. I wanted to define my class under P1 package. That is the reason you should right click on the P1, okay, new, and then take the class. Which class? For example, test1 I wanted to define. Okay, now you see how exactly the directory architecture, I mean the folder structure also. So this test1 is available under P1 package. So this test1 belongs to which package? P1 package. Here, even if you are observing or not, the moment you define the class test1 under P1 package, automatically this statement is also coming. You see package followed by package name. For example, if you are defining this package statement after this class, immediately we are getting the error. What is this? Tell me. Syntax error. You are getting what? A syntax error. That is the reason always package statement must be the first executable statement. Otherwise, you will get the compile time error. Okay. So inside this public class test1, for example, say something like I have one logic is there. Assume I have one logic is there. Okay. System.out.println enough x plus y, or else a sum is a plus of x plus a y. Assume this is the logic available inside the test1. So I'm not defining any main method here. Sir, if you are defining the main method here, you can execute this class. But the concept of packages is what it is saying. Because of why we are keeping the classes or interfaces inside the package to achieve the concept of reusability. Meaning is whatever the logic you are defining, okay, this logic may be useful for some other classes. One second. Okay, so whatever the logic we define here, okay, obviously this will be common. This will be something like it will be useful for some other classes. That is the reason you are keeping inside the. That is the reason you are keeping inside the package. If you are not keeping this inside the package, you may not reuse this code. Okay, for example, now I have one more class is there or one more package is there. I want to reuse. I want to for example, right now, okay, new, and then take the class and then test2. Okay, now my goal is, but here whether you are observing or not, class test1 is also belongs to P1 package, test2 also belongs to same package. So here my goal is you just define the main method. Now from the test2 class, I wanted to access this sum method. I wanted to access the sum method. Here import is required or not required? Not required. Why? Because two classes are belongs to same package, boss. Two classes are belongs to same package, then import is not required. So then happily what we have to do, you can create the object of test1. Okay, you can create the object of test1 and then try to access the sum method. And when you try to execute, happily you are able to execute this and you are getting the sum is 5. Then when import is required, if this test2 class belongs to some other package. So you see, right now we did not do any import statement. So test1, inside the test1 we have some common logic, reusable logic is there, and that reusable logic I am able to access from the test2 which belongs to the P1 package. This time import I am not using. Why? Because of these two classes are belongs to same package. Okay, let me try to like what define one more package like new and then class P2. Right now, sorry, here it is just defining like a class. I'm just deleting under src new, take the package P2. Okay, under this P2, let me try to like what define the class as test2. Yes, so this test2 belongs to P1 package. Now my test2, right now this test2 belongs to which package? Tell me. P2 package. Now from this P2, from this test2 class of P2 package, what I wanted to access the sum method of test1 class of P1 package. If that is the case, happily are we able to like what create the object of test1 like this? Immediately we are getting the error, sir. What is that error? Test1 cannot be resolved to a type. Why? Because test2 you are in P2 package, but this test1 is available in the P1 package. How can you create the object just like that? Yes, we do have an option. If you want me, you please import me, you please include me. So the moment you keep the cursor here, the statement it is coming. You see, import test1 from the P1. If you clicked on this, you see this statement, import P1 dot test1. How can we import the classes or interfaces? Tell me, sir, how can we import the classes or interfaces from packages? What is the syntax? Tell me. Import followed by package name followed by dot followed by class name or interface name based on the requirement. Or we have one more statement is there. Import package name followed by dot star. Hashtag means what? Each and every class of our interface which are whatever it is available inside the package, all those are going to be imported if you are using this hashtag. But that is not at all a good programming practice. Okay, why? Because unnecessarily we are increasing the load, because of we don't require all the classes or all the stuff which are available inside the package as per our requirement. We may require one or two or three classes. So if you, instead of importing all those things into your application, just try to import whatever you require. Because of that, we are reducing the load, but then performance, because of importing the specific classes, obviously performance will be improved. That is why you have to like what import. If you are not importing immediately, you are not able to create the object. And now why? Because of test2 belongs to, come on please, test2 package. Test2 belongs to P2 package, but test1 belongs to P1 package. If you want test1 of P1 package from the package P2, from the package P2, you have to import. Why the error is coming? Package. Okay, just try to like what import, so automatically the error is gone, but still the error is there. 1 second. Package P2, save it. My God. Okay, already it was there now. Okay, fine. Save it. So this is how this is all about. See, if you are trying to like what keep this package after importing statement, immediately we are getting the error saying that syntax error package. Okay, package statement always must be the first executable statement, as I said. So now by this, you may, I hope you got the point. When import is required, when import is not required, when import is required, when import is required, when import is required. Okay, import is required, import is required, import is required when we are trying to access when we are trying to access the properties of different packages from different packages. Okay, so when import is not required, if you are trying to access the properties of the same package classes from some other classes, obviously import is not required. How to import? Just now we have to. How to import? Just now we have seen. Okay, so like this you have to like what import. Right now you are in test2. Okay, test1 obj equals to new test1. So happily obj.sum. Okay, pass the values. So you are able to like what access. So don't you feel this is something like reusability? Anna, inside the test2 class, you did not define the logic of the sum method. Where did you define the logic? Inside the test1 class of P1 package. So, but still you are able to like what reuse this logic from the test2 class of P2 package. Don't you call this is a reusability? Yes, it is a reusability. How it is possible? Because of you kept this test1 class inside the package. That is the reason I am able to import and then I am able to like what access, reuse. This is how exactly we are able to achieve the concept of reusability. For your understanding purpose, I am just giving you the test1. Okay, don't get confused the test2 of P1 package, test2 of P2 package. So both are different. Just observe the first statement so that you will get the clarity. Test1.java, this is belongs to P1. Okay, now one more test2, test2.java. Okay, this test2 belongs to P1 package. This time, okay, import is not required. That is my point. Why? Because of test1 also belongs to same package, test2 also belongs to same package. Just simply by creating the object, as it allows. Control C, Control V. But from this test2, it is not possible to access. If you really want that, you have to like what import, because of this test2 belongs to other package, different package. Here import is pakka required. Otherwise, it is not possible. This is what I wanted to convey. All right, I hope you got the clarity. Now, I need to talk about the sub package also. I need to talk about what sub packages also, right? So you just observe here. For example, what do you mean by sub package? I wanted to tell you one point here. Here, P1 is the package. Assume. How can you say java.lang is the package? So what is the sub package? Java.lang.reflect is the sub package. Java.awt is the package. Java.awt.color is the sub package. Something like this. In the same manner, if you wanted to define the sub package, first we have already available. P1 is the package is there. Now if I wanted to define the sub package, how can you define P1.P2? Something like this. And outer side package must be same, and after dot anything you can give. Okay, like that is what exactly the sub package meaning. So here package is something like available as a folder, sir. So I wanted to show you where exactly we are saving the programs in the free Java sessions. Okay, in the Java probe under SRC. See here free Java sessions under SRC. See here, previously all these Java files are available directly under SRC, but right now my inside the P1 test1 test2 is there. And how packages are looks like what folders. Packages are looks like are created like a folders. Under P2 test2.java is there. In the same manner, if I am creating one more sub package inside the P1, P2 will be there. Under P2, the class which I am going to create, that is available in that way. So that means what package is like a folder. You just try to like what imagine something like this. So for this, let me try to like what delete this. Okay, for some time. Okay, since I have already took the backup. Okay, let me clear it. So right now, let me, okay, 1 second. Let me try to like what delete all these things just to understand the concept of a package. Open now, inside the P1 package, I have one class, I have one method is there. That's fine. So now I wanted to like what define the sub package also. Very good. How can you define the sub package? As you already aware, as we have already aware, under package, if I'm creating P2, is this fine? 1 second. Let me try to like what refresh. No, it is just creating like a folder. 1 second. Let me recharge. One second. I am going to create the sub package now. I am going to create the sub package. How can we create the sub package? That is the important point. So like the way I have created is wrong. Let me delete this P2 package. Under SRC, right click here new and then click on the package and then give the name as what P1.P2. Observe right. So P1 is already available. Now I am going to create the sub package of P1. That is the reason I am giving P1.P2. Okay, hope you understand. So click on the finish. So P1 is going, P1.P2 is available now. Under P1.P2, I am going to define the class. What class I am going to define? Test2. Anything, any class you can define, right? So if I am refreshing this, let me refresh, not a problem. Okay. So P1 test1.java, P1.P2 test2.java is there. Inside this, I have one more or else multiplication method int x comma into y. Okay, same thing. The logic is okay, multiplication is plus of x into y. That's it. That's the logic. That's the logic. Save it. So now you got the clarity. Test1 belongs to, come on please. Test1 class belongs to P1 package. Test2 class belongs to P1.P2. That is means it is a main package. This is the main package, and this is the sub package. And this is the sub package. That is what I wanted to convey. So inside the main package, which class is available? Test1 is available. Inside the test1, which method is available? Some method. Inside the sub package, which class is available? Test2. Inside the test2, which method is available? Multiplication method. Are we clear about this? Okay. Now coming back to here, I am going to create one more package. Okay, new package. We are in P3 package. Okay. Now inside this P3 package, let me try to define the class with the name of test3. And here you are defining, we are trying to define the main method. Now what is my requirement? Please try to understand. It's a very, very important concept. Test3 belongs to P3 package. Now I wanted to access the sum method of test1, which is available inside the P1. So from the test3, what we have to do? Just by creating the object like this, immediately we are getting the error. Why? Because test1 is available inside the P1. Please try to import like that. Okay, you are trying to import. Okay, import P1.test1, and happily we are able to create the object, and happily we are able to pass these values, and happily we are able to execute it, and we are getting the sum. In the same manner, so we have already imported the main package. Instead of test1, if I'm using star, what does it mean? All the classes, all the properties of P1 package will be imported, and even when you're trying to run this with the star, that is also working. Now am I able to access the test2 also? You already imported the main package. Am I able to access the multiplication method of test2 class, which is available inside the sub package of P1? Just by importing the main package, are we able to access this? I am just seeing your chat box. Please give me your answer if you are understanding my question. I already imported the main package with the star. So am I able to access the multiplication method of test2 class? Come on please. Test2 obj1 equal to new test2. When I am creating the object like this, immediately we are getting the error saying that test2 cannot be resolved to a type. But people who are thinking, we are importing main package. By importing the main package, automatically sub packages classes also will be imported. If you are thinking like that, you please try to delete such kind of thoughts, because just by importing the main package, only we are able to import or reuse the main package properties only. Importing the main package will not give you the chance of accessing the sub package properties. If you want those sub packages properties, please try to import that also. See here, p1.p2.test2, then the error is gone. obj1 dot multiplication method 3 and then 4. Save it, and when I try to run this, sum and then multiplication we are getting. So ultimately my point is here. By importing the, come on, very, very important note point I am writing here. By importing the main package, we are able to access only main package related properties. Okay, by importing the main package, we won't get a chance to access sub package properties. If we want to use sub packages properties, Okay, sub packages properties. We have to import sub package explicitly. Okay, this is the example. So people are thinking by importing the main package we are able to import the sub package also. People are thinking something like that, but that is not true. By importing the main package only we are getting the main package stuff. If you want to access the sub package stuff, you have to import the sub package also. That is what I wanted to convey. The same example I'm just copying here. So please try to observe the package names. Accordingly, you try to like what practice while you are doing the practice. Okay, because of these names are looks like, you know, the obviously a little different. So that is the reason first statement observe it. So then accordingly you will get the confirmation. Okay, this class belongs to this package, something like that. So once you get the clarity regarding that, then you can understand very easily. Okay, that is the reason. Please observe the first package statement is the important. So here whether you are observing or not, test 3 is the execution logic class, because inside this class only I am defining the main method. But import statements are very important, the entire concept, right? So this is all about what packages and then sub packages concept, predefined packages, how to import, how to define our own classes, and how to keep inside the package, something like that. So for example, one more thing I wanted to convey here. Okay, I told you already, using packages we are able to achieve the concept of reusability. That is what we have seen so far. And about naming conflict also. For example, let me try to delete this since we have already took the backup. Okay, let me try to delete this also. Okay, delete this also. So P1 test1 is there. Under P1, if I'm trying to define one more class with the test1, is it possible or not possible? Are already inside the P1, you already defined the test1. How can you define one more test1 class? It is not at all possible. So, but my requirement is I wanted to define the test1 class only. So if that is your requirement, what we have to do? Define one more package, just give another package and define the same test1 class. Okay, na? Same test1 class. Inside the test1 class, whatever the method you want to define, you can define. For example, here inside this, I'm just defining the multiplication. Assume, sir. I'm just defining the multiplication method. Assume system.out.println multiplication plus of x into y. So now test1 belongs to P2. This test1 belongs to P1. Now what I want to do is I am going to define the package P3. Assume inside the package P3 I am defining one more class with the test3. Okay. So now try to observe main method. Okay. Now if I am creating the test1 obj equals to new test1. Now which test1? Test1 class of P1 or test1 class of P2? Which test1 class you want? So accordingly, okay, you have to import P1 dot test1, meaning that you are able to access some method. You are able to access which method? Tell me. Some method. For example, if I wanted to access the multiplication method, again you have to create the object of test1 obj equals to new, test1 obj1 equal to new test1. But this time obj1 dot multiplication of 3 comma 4. But this time this test1 is available where? Come on, one more package, that is what? Import p2.test1. Save it. But I am getting the error. Why this error? Okay, remove unused import. Why unused import? Okay, 1 second. Okay, here we are. It is not accepting. Okay, 1 second. So inside the P1 test1 is there. Inside the P2 also test1 is there. Okay, 1 second, and I'm keeping the import p2.test1 collides with another import statement. So you're not even able to like what import the statement, okay, 2 times of test1, because when it is trying to import, already test1 is there. Java compiler is just checking something like this. The Java compiler is not in a position to cross check this package. That is the reason we are getting this error. Then how can we resolve this issue if this is the case? So let me remove this. Okay, now while we are creating the object of test1 of P2, you just give like this P2.test1. Okay, new P2.test1. This is one more alternative, sir. This is one more alternative. For one test1 class, you used the import statement. For another test1 class, Instead of importing, while you are creating the object, you are using the fully qualified name. Sir, if you are not interested to like what use import, this is also one more alternative, sir. While you are creating the object, you can use the package name dot class name followed by object name followed by new followed by package name dot class name. In this way also you can create the object. Please try to like what learn, understand all these ways. When the concept coming to the picture while you are doing the programs, these kind of scenarios will be triggered, and accordingly we are going to like what manipulate the program. I mean changing the different ways we can apply the different ways to escape or to resolve the issue. Since okay, two test one classes are there, we are not able to like what use these two import statement. Java compiler is giving you getting some kind of ambiguity. For this, for one test one class use import, for another test one class don't use import. But while you're creating the object, use the fully qualified name, use the package name, so that Java compiler won't get any ambiguity issue. So now tell me, when I try to run this, happily we are able to get both sum method and as well as what multiplication method. So ultimately, what is the concept? Tell me. Ultimately, what is the concept? Tell me. Come on. Ultimately, what is the concept? Am I able to like what define the test one class inside the P2 and then inside the P1 by differentiating the package? Am I able to like what define the two different classes with the same name or not? Yes. And moreover, those two classes also we are able to access by importing and as well as what? By creating the object with the fully qualified name of approach. All these things you need to understand. Okay. So for this also, I'm going to like what give you the backup regarding example on avoiding naming conflicts, package naming conflicts. So that's the reason I'm just giving like the test1.java. Okay, package P2 now. Why package P2? So first is package P1. First is the package P1, right? And after that test2.java, sorry, test1.java only. But this time this test1 belongs to package P2 and this is the multiplication method. And at last we have to define one more package with the test3 and accordingly we have to import. Okay, test3.java which belongs to P3 package, and accordingly we are using the import statement. For one test1 class you are using import statement, for another one okay you are creating the object like this. Okay, you are not allowed to like what use this two import statement for with the same name. Okay, so you may ask one question, sir, if you have one more import, one more test1 class is available in the same. Yes, you can create the object as usual. The same scenario it will be applicable for multiple classes. Okay, that is what we need to understand. So with this, whatever the theory points which we discussed with respect to packages, and practically we are able to cover so far. Okay, after this, this is all about what packages and sub packages and the demonstrations, the different examples, and how to import and all these things we have seen. And after this, we have one more concept is there, that is what? Access modifiers. We have one more concept is there, that is what? Access modifiers. So yes, access modifiers basically in Java we have four access modifiers are there. What are those? First one is the private, default, protected, okay, and then public. So private, default, protected, and then public. So let me try to like what discuss. Okay, private, default, and then public. Okay, protected also I will try to explain. If you are understanding, yes, try to understand. Even though, because for this protected we need inheritance concept, but let's try to like what understand. Basically, access modifiers are why we are using. It is used to these access modifiers. These access modifiers are used to control the visibility of the data over the packages. Control the visibility of the data over the packages. These access modifiers are used to control the visibility of the data over the packages. Over the packages. What do you mean by controlling the visibility of the data? Because sometimes when you are defining any data inside the class, I don't want to like what access some other, or else I wanted to like what access this data for everyone, or I wanted to like what access only within the same package. I don't want to like what access outside the package. So this kind of requirements you may get. So if you are getting this kind of requirements, definitely we are going to use these access modifiers. Okay, these access modifiers. Just try to understand one by one, we'll see, so that you will get more clarity. Private access modifier. Private access modifier. So basically, when you are defining any property with the private access modifier, only you are able to access within the same class. You're not able to access outside of the class, even though that class belongs to same package. When you are declaring any property with the private access modifier, only you are able to access within the class only. Wherever you are declaring, only within that class only you are able to access. You are not able to access outside of the class, even though that class belongs to same package. Okay, if that is the case, why should we think about other packages classes? You're not able to access the same package other classes. Obviously, you are not able to access other package classes also. First of all, we no need to think about that. Okay, let me cross check whether it is working or not accordingly. Whether you are getting something like that or not, you just observe here. For example, here, let me try to like what delete all these things as part of the requirement. Okay, P3 also I'm just deleting. Okay, define this inside the test one. Here, for example, make it as what private. Make it as what private. So now tell me, see how to make the method or anything as, for example, if you are using public, you are able to access anywhere. If I'm using private, so this method, this property belongs to test1 class. So that means this property you are able to access only within this class. How can you use only within this class? Anna, define the main method. Define the main method. Create the object. Define the main method. Create the object. Okay, na? Create the object and access that sum method. And access the sum method, right? So in this way, it is fine. When I try to run this, happily we are able to access the private property within the same class. Now, sir, I am trying to like what define one more class. Okay, in the same package. Okay, here also define the main method. Here also define the main method and try to like what access the sum method. Test1 obj equals to new test1. Okay, this is also fine. Obj.sum. Okay, 3, 4. But you are not getting, you are getting the error. What is this error? Tell me. Come on, please. Can you please read this? The method sum from the type test1 is not visible. Why it is not visible? Because you defined this method as a private. You defined this method as what? As a private. If you are defining this method as a private, only you are able to access within the class. You are not able to access outside of the class, even though this class belongs to same package. Array, within the same package from other classes only you are not able to access. How can you access this private property from other package classes? We no need to think about and we no need to test also. Yes or no? Yes. So here I'm writing private access or else private properties only we are able to access, okay, within the class. Okay, we are not allowed to access outside the class even if it belongs to same package. Okay, even if it belongs to same package. Okay, this is what we need to understand. So let me talk about test1.java as per your understanding. I'm just taking this test1.java, control C, observe it. Within the class we can access. Within the class we can access. We won't get any error. But from outside the class only it is giving you the problem. We will get the compile time error saying that is not visible. Okay, you are getting the compile time error and you're trying to access the private properties. Note point is when we are trying to access private properties. Come on, please. Private properties. From outside the class, we will get compile time error saying that, okay, property is not visible. That is how exactly it is happening. Right. So now coming back to like what next property. What is the next access modifier? It is a default. So for the default, don't define like don't use this default keyword. You don't use any keyword. Obviously it comes under what kind of property it is? Default property. From among all the access modifiers, okay, all the three are what? These are the keywords. Private is the keyword, protected is the keyword, public is the keyword, but default is not a keyword. Okay, meaning that if you are not using any access modifier, obviously it can be considering as what? Default access property, default property. Okay, to define the default property, we no need to use the keyword explicitly like other access modifiers. That is what I wanted to convey. Okay, for this, what we need to define? Right now, I am just removing that public, private, and just deleting. So obviously, it can be considering as what? Default property. Private property only within the class you can access. Obviously, default property also you can access. Okay, the least access visibility of the access, the least access control is private only. Default is also within the class, but from test one, this error is not there right now. Meaning that from some other class, am I able to like what access? From some other class, am I able to access the default property? Yes. From same package, other classes, same package, other classes, am I able to access the default property? Yes. Now let's check. Okay, let's check other package classes. New, take the class. Okay, new, take the class. Here, define this into P2. Here, make it as what? Test3. Make it as what? Test3. Now, here, this test3 belongs to other package. Now try to access the test1 some method from the test3 of P2 package. Define the main method. Okay, test1 obj equals to new test1. For sure, what we require, sir? You have to like what? Import this, because of this test1 is available in the P1. So how can you import? Import P1 dot test1. Even though you imported obj dot sum method, obj dot sum of 3, 4, immediately we are getting the error. What is this error? The method sum from the type test1 is not visible. What you are understanding with respect to this default property? Come on. Default property is saying what? Okay, default property within the class we can access. Within the class we can access. Okay. Outside the class from same package we can access. From different package classes, okay, we cannot access. We will get compile time error. When you are trying to access, we will get compile time error saying that property not visible, something like this. So this is all about what? Default properties. This is all about what? Default properties. So from the same package, any classes you can access, but from some other package, different class, from different package you can't access. So that is the behavior of what? Default property. For your understanding purpose, I am just giving you this backup. Observe this test1.java. Okay, observe this test1.java and observe this test2.java. This is belongs to same package, so that we can access this default property. What is the default property here? Some method. But from the test3, it is not possible because of test3 belongs to different package, that is P2. Right. Let me Control C, Control V. Right. So now immediately I'm asking about what? Protected property. What do you mean by protected property? I can write within the class we can access. Yes. Within the class we can access. Yes. Okay. Outside the class, same package, another class. Same package, another class we can access. Same package, another class we can access. Different package classes, can we access or not? Okay, here different package, okay, subclasses we can access, subclasses we can access. Okay, so different package from different package independent classes, okay, we cannot access. Yes, you may not understand what do you mean by this subclass means what, child class. So for this we need to understand the concept of inheritance, but programmatical I will show you, just try to understand. Okay, so how much you can understand, please try to understand. After inheritance concept, if you refer this, definitely will get more clarity itself. What I'll do is come back to here, make this test one, and here make this one as the protected property. How can you make this one as a protected property? Use that reserved keyword, protected. Now the method is becoming as what, protected property. Inside the class, can we access? Happily we can access. Happily we can access. Okay. Other package, sorry, other class same package, can we access? Happily we can access. Okay, proceed it. Okay. Now test 3. Right now this test 3 is what? Different package, independent class, meaning that there is no relation in between test 3 and test 1. This is available in different package, available like an independent class. There is no relation in between test 3 and then test 1. But how can you maintain the relation? If you are using extends test 1, okay, then this test 3 belongs to, then this test 3 becomes what? Child class, okay, of this test 1. So that whenever it will become the child class, you have to create the object always for the child class. So now you are able to like what, access the sum, protected property. From different package, independent class you cannot access, but from different package, subclass or child class, you can access the protected property. That is the meaning. So it is exactly looks like, okay, test 1, control C, same class, that is the meaning. Test1.java, test1.java, control V, test2.java. Inside the same package other class, we can access happily. Even default properties only we can access. But only thing is, from other package independent class we can't access. But other package subclass or child class we can access. How can you make any class as a child class? You have to like what, use this extends keyword. If you are using extends keyword, this will become child class, this will become parent class. Whenever if it is acting as a child class, you have to create the always object of test3 child class, and with that object if you call the sum method, you can access. So ultimately what my conclusion, protected properties we can access within the class, same package other classes, different package child classes only we can access, different package independent class we can't access. That is also possible by using which access modifier, tell me? Public. If you define any property as public, do we have any restriction? We don't have any restriction. From anywhere we can access, from anywhere we can access. That is the reason least, okay, universal access modifier is what? Public. Okay, for example, just for your understanding purpose, I am making this one as the public. I am making this one as the public. Come to the test3.java, you remove this test3 extends test1. Right now, because of that is not the protected property. This is what kind of property right now? It is a public property. So when it is a public property, happily you can create the object. Why we are getting the error? Some, okay, in the test1, okay, test1 object we have to create, not test3. Okay, test1 is the child. So now happily right now test3 belongs to different package, even though this is not a child class, this is an independent class only, but there is no relation, but still we are able to access. Once you define any method or any property as a public, we don't have any restrictions. Within the class you can access, same package other classes we can access, other package other classes also we can access. We don't have any restriction. That is all about what? Okay, we don't have any restriction. Within the class we can access. Okay, same package other classes we can access, different package classes also we can access. We don't have any restrictions. For this also, I am giving you as a backup so that while you are practicing, you just cleanly observe and then accordingly practice. Right, test2.java, test2.java I am just taking here. These are very, very important concepts. While we are working as part of the requirement, you have to define these access modifiers. Visibility is important. Who wants to access? As part of that, you have to define the properties with the corresponding access modifiers. Accordingly, they are able to access or they are not able to access. So this is all about what? This is all about what? Access modifiers. I have one diagram is there. I guess I'm not sure. Let me cross check it once. 1 second. 1 second. I have a diagram somewhere. It was there. Yeah, you see this access modifiers diagram. I will try to share this in the Git link. So you just observe here, private, same class, yes, we can access. Same package subclass, we can't. Same package non-subclass, we can't. So inside the same class only you can access. Remaining all we can't access. So same package. So for example, if I go for a default, same class we can access. Same package, any class you can access. Different package you can't. Go to the protected. Same class, same package we can access. Different package subclass we can access. But different package independent class, non-subclass you can't access. Public, all are yes. I hope you understand this diagram. Okay, so this one also I'll try to keep it in our Git link so that you can access and try to understand. Copy it. Let me keep it in our folders. Okay. So okay. So that is all about what today's session regarding packages and as well as what access modifiers. Thank you.